Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 13's Weekend Edition. I'm Jana Barnello. A Rhode Island man is behind bars after police say he caused a crash that killed his passenger in Biddeford last night. Police say the two men were visiting friends on UNE's campus. Campus security told police the two were drunk and left in a Ford Explorer. Police say they clocked the car going 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, but weren't able to pull over the SUV. Shortly after that, the SUV crashed into a utility pole near the Westbrook skating rink. The passenger, 20-year-old Anthony Chacon, died. The driver, this man, 20-year-old Christopher Bennett, is charged with manslaughter and felony OUI. Police say he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. He's being held on $300,000 cash bail tonight. The crash is still under investigation. Police say the two men are not students at UNE. It was a rainy start to the day, but the sun finally broke through, and it looks like the sun will stay for Labor Day. Meteorologist Tom Chisholm is here with a check of your holiday forecast. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, Jenna. Yeah, it's just a minor annoyance this morning, an excuse to sleep in maybe a little bit for some. And as the day wore on, it brightened up and really foreshadowing what will be a very nice close to the holiday weekend. Just a minor interruption. In fact, our forecast for Labor Day itself looking pretty nice out there as temperatures reach into the 70s. Nighttime lows will be in the 50s. The grass will be green and we'll enjoy a nice pleasant day across northern New England. Now Tuesday and Wednesday, a different story. You remember Isaac, that was once a pretty powerful hurricane that of course caused extensive damage in the south. Well, the remnants of that storm has moved all the way up into the Ohio Valley, and the jet stream winds will carry the wet weather associated with that to our neighborhoods Tuesday and Wednesday. So the midweek outlook is looking cool and wet. That will represent temperatures in the 70s then. Once that system goes back up, the temperatures too will be rising up into the upper 70s and pretty much staying steady, presuming we get distinct clearing. That still has to play out. This is a look at Doppler radar showing a nice fair picture. We had the rain earlier today, dropping about a quarter inch of rainfall in many communities, and temperatures have been very slow to recover as the result of the rain and the limited sunshine this afternoon and the lowering sun angle. It's only 63 right now at the Jetport. Down east, temperatures from Wiscasset to Rockland also running in the 60s, and Freiburg is at 68 degrees. So it's been sweater weather, which replaced the necessity for a raincoat this morning. Following temperatures through time, we cool down about 10 degrees on average overnight as the sky partially clears. Please be careful as you return to work or school in the morning. Possibility of fog reducing our visibility. You may need a little extra time going off to work during the morning. Nonetheless, actually, that would be Tuesday. Fog is likely preceding the rain. Tomorrow, being Labor Day, we have the sun and the dry conditions as temperatures stay on the cool side. Follow the clouds advancing from the west. Green represents wet weather first moving into the Champlain Valley and then advancing to the east and bringing us some wet weather on Tuesday. Otherwise, sunshine in our forecast tomorrow, starting off at 60 at 7 o'clock, noontime 72, and at 5 p.m. running in the low 70s as well. Again, decent beach day coming up, closing out the unofficial end of summer. It went by so fast. That's what happens when you're having fun. And the weather's so great. Time to enjoy, however, a nice Labor Day. Enjoy it indeed. Jana?
Absolutely. Looks beautiful tomorrow. Thanks, Tom. Central Maine's Labor Council held a rally to celebrate Labor Day in Augusta today. The Uniontown event featured speakers, a march, and free food. Organizers say it's a chance to honor those who have fought for workers' rights in the past and to look ahead to the challenges facing them in the future. Today, though, the big push was to thank workers in the state.
We're really here to thank Mainers who work very hard in the state, from truck drivers to nurses to firefighters. We want to take a moment to just say thank you to all Maine workers for the work that they do.
Central Maine Labor Council represents almost 8,000 union members in Kennebec and Somerset counties. It's a sign of recovery and an economy in crisis. A new report says while some jobs are being created, more than half are low-wage positions. The new report comes from the National Employment Law Project and says the jobs pay under $14 an hour and include positions in retail sales, food service, and manual labor. About 60% of lost jobs during the recession were mid-wage, which paid between $14 and $21 per hour. The findings back A Department of Labor report showing more than half of workers who lost jobs during the recovery and found new ones are working for lower wages. In our Vote 2012 coverage tonight, one of the Maine Republicans who challenged Maine's Ron Paul delegates has strong words for them. Here's where it stems from. Yesterday, the Maine GOP passed resolutions saying they disagree with the RNC replacing Maine's delegates. Paul supporters say the votes put the committee on record as saying the Maine State Convention elections were run fairly. But former state committeewoman Jan Staples says that's not true, and there were multiple problems. She says Paul supporters in Maine are fired up, but that there's, quote, a lot of passion and not a lot of wisdom. President Barack Obama is hitting key swing states on his way to Charlotte for the Democratic National Convention. In Charlotte, organizers are setting up and security is tight ahead of Tuesday's opening day. News 13's Danielle Nottingham is in Charlotte with more.
Police are patrolling the streets and helicopters are hovering over Charlotte. The city is getting ready for Tuesday, opening day of the Democratic National Convention. More than 35,000 people are expected in town. Organizers say security will be tight.
There seems to be police at every block.
Jennifer Thompson was not worried about bringing her sons downtown.
He was. I wasn't so much because I knew there was going to be plenty of cops.
Police escorted hundreds of demonstrators protesting big banks through Charlotte's business district Sunday. The city is using a $50 million federal grant to help cover the cost of keeping order. That includes a 100 square block security zone around the convention hall. President Obama is making his way to Charlotte through key swing states.
Hello, Colorado!
Sunday, he stopped at the University of Colorado.
If you're willing to vote for me in November, we will win Boulder and we will win Colorado. We will win this election.
Mitt Romney went to church in New Hampshire Sunday. His advisors say President Obama will have to account for the struggling economy.
I think next week in Charlotte, the president needs to explain why he didn't do what he said he was going to do.
The president says he'll lay out a plan for how to move the country forward when he accepts his party's nomination on Thursday.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, Danielle Nottingham, News 13.
Tomorrow, the convention host committee is welcoming families to a Labor Day celebration downtown called Carolina Fest. Actor Jeff Bridges and singer James Taylor will be there to help kick off the DNC. Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Cynthia Dill appeared on Sunday's Up with Chris Hayes on MSNBC today. She joined other Democratic candidates on the show for a panel discussion. Dill talked about health care, political ads, and the economy. She says that in this tough economy, bills that could help aren't getting passed because of politics.
My message is that the Republicans are wrong. It's not Barack Obama that's obstructing the ability for Americans to get jobs. It's the extremists in the Republican Party who've made it their life's work to prevent any success on the part of the president and Democrats.
Dill is running against Republican Charlie Summers and Independent Angus King. And we now know where President Barack Obama will be this Friday in New Hampshire. President Obama and First Lady Michelle, as well as Vice President Joe Biden and his wife, will be at the Strawberry Bank Museum in Portsmouth for a campaign stop Friday. President Obama was in Rochester, New Hampshire for a speech last month. A Labor Day tradition continues tonight here on WGME 13, our annual show of strength for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Kim Block and Greg Lagerquist join us live now with a preview of tonight's special event. Hey guys.
Hey, Jana, thanks so much. A couple of changes this year. For one thing, we want to let our viewers know, especially those who've been watching for 30 years or so here on WGME, that our show of strength tonight is 3 hours. We're going to pack a lot into that. And I want to welcome Greg Lagerquist, who's going to be my co-host tonight, but the cause hasn't changed.
It certainly is not, Kim, as you know. I mean, the cause is so important. When people join us tonight and they text in their donation or call in their donation or go online to do so, they are sending kids to camp. They're funding such important research. And most importantly, as you know, Kim, they're giving families hope.
And we're going to meet a lot of those families tonight, the families here in Maine who really benefit from the services provided by MDA. And of course, as Greg mentioned, the hope for the future of a cure and certainly better treatments. We also want to mention there's great entertainment that's going to be going on tonight from Hollywood and the Grand Ole Opry and New York City. So a lot of fun tonight, and Adrian Stein will be joining us as well. It's from 8 to 11 tonight. We'll
great cause, great night.
All right, really looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
From your Weather Authority.
Well, even in generally nice weather conditions, weather patterns, we have to adapt, we New Englanders, to summer weather, which is ever changeable. And today was a fine example of that, as we had, of course, the showers this morning and then conditions brightening up this afternoon. And that portends well for tomorrow's weather, which brings us sunshine and pleasant temperatures, and enjoy it while it lasts, because as we go back to work and school following that, Tuesday and Wednesday are just looking plain wet. So our sky clears out overnight. That's some good news. Labor Day is beautiful, and then beyond that, the storm clouds will be arriving. This is an interesting time lapse from this afternoon looking west over Panther Pond. Fast moving clouds. This is a time lapse that went 2 hours and 15 seconds. You can see the clouds beginning to break up towards sunset. So rain is over. The sky is going to be generally fair overnight, and there will be a few areas of fog by morning, and you'll enjoy tomorrow. It's going to be a nice day, a little cool. The breeze is going to be coming in off the Atlantic near the coast, but it's not going to be particularly strong. A gentle breeze, and temperatures will be warm, and the sun's not too high in the sky, so it's just about right. So many of us enjoy, of course, September and October, some of the finest months of the year. Here's our satellite sequence. There's New England, Portland located in that position, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and of course New York State. And clouds, they're over central Pennsylvania, and they're advancing eastbound. Tomorrow we're in between as high pressure is with us. Those are, however, the remnants of Isaac. You know about Isaac. Isaac produced all that tremendous rainfall in the south, and a piece of that's coming in our direction will bring us the wet weather Tuesday into Wednesday. And it stayed cool today because the sun came back to us so late. 63 at the Jetport now, Sebago 65, and Freiburg in the upper 60s. Very few locations close to 70, and the cool down begins. And it is also, of course, the mosquito season. They are aggressive in early September, indeed, with the rainfall that we've had. Fog, too, a little bit problematic late tonight and early tomorrow. Temperatures, however, will not be particularly chilly, in most cases dropping into the 50s near the coast, 40s inland. 53 should do it in Portland. In western Cumberland County, we're talking about 45 in Freiburg. And Berlin, New Hampshire, cool down to 43. But a nice, decent recovery tomorrow. Labor Day is going to be just fine. A time to enjoy temperatures in the 70s. On to the tropics we go. And we're talking about Leslie. This is the peak of the hurricane season. We need to pay attention to what's happening in the tropical Atlantic, especially systems that have originated off the coast of Africa. This is Leslie with top sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, not intensifying rapidly, but the National Hurricane Center is forecasting this to come up to at least a minimal hurricane as it moves northwest. First north, then northwest. And we'll follow the progress as it has a potential, at least, to approach the east coast of the United States, but not until next weekend. So that's going to be a problem at least through the end of the week for anybody. What will be are the remnants of Isaac. We're talking about a lot of wet weather potentially Tuesday and Wednesday. 55 is your nighttime low. Winds are light to moderate from the northwest. Tomorrow a decent day. In fact, we'll call it beautiful. Lots of sun, passing fair weather clouds, high temperatures up to about 76. More importantly, dry, unlike today. 7-day forecast looks like this. Tomorrow 76. It cools down because of wet weather on Tuesday. Wednesday, wet weather too. Showery rains, few embedded tropical downpours. Then Thursday and Friday, slowly, emphasizing the slowly, drying up Thursday and Friday. The sun returning to us grudgingly, stubbornly, a few lingering showers, and we will hope for the best for next weekend. So our string of perfect days are pretty much gone, except for Labor Day. Good timing, at least. It's going to be a nice day, Jana.
Exactly. People can barbecue, enjoy their day, at least for Monday.
They can indeed.
All right. Thanks, Tom.